Hello dear viewers and welcome to a new episode of Windows. I'm your host for tonight, Mohammed Abdelrahim, and tonight we'll be talking about the building of the Egyptian character. A character that is fit for today's challenges and all the efforts via the presidential initiatives, the governmental policies, the non-governmental organizations' efforts and civil society efforts to build an Egyptian character fit for today's challenges. And we are delighted to have with us tonight Engineer Amany Shennawy. She is a member of civil society and international service organization, and she's also a chemical engineer. Engineer Amany, it's always a pleasure to have you with us. Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you for being with us. So, building a character that is fit for today's challenges. How do you see this model?
As we're a developing country and developing in all areas, one of the main and the most important aspects is to develop the Egyptian people, the Egyptian citizen. Generally, developing the people is one of the main topics that are very important for having a good and a high human capital index, which measures the development of the countries.
Indeed. So human capital, so building of character got us to human capital, and by human capital we mean that we want the people to be assets, right? Assets with their knowledge, with their skills, with their talents. So the goal is to develop the skills of the people, and always education somehow comes in the equation, right?
This is true. The human capital index depend on the education, as you said, and the health. It shows us and it indicates how is the little kid, the child, the Egyptian's child is going to be able to work when he grows up, having a good health and good education.
Right. And it's obvious that the policy of the Egyptian government is focusing on building the Egyptian character, again, to be fit for the challenges of our times. Can you give us examples of that, Engineer Amany?
As we're a youthful country, we are having a lot of potential, and we are having potential in the kids, small people in Egypt, that the government is having plans to develop their education and their health, in order to be able to work and be a very good potential when they grow up. So if you want to talk about the education, there are a lot of initiatives that help the education to be better. The presidential initiative, Haya Karima, or Decent Life, it has efforts, big efforts in the education, in the area of education, building schools. The first part of the initiative had 2,000 new schools built to have the children who left education because they couldn't pay their education fees. They get them back to education and let them be able to pay and pay for them the education fees in order to have educated youth.
Right, and of course we'll see that Haya Karima, or the Decent Life presidential initiative, had a lot of positive roles in various files, not only the file of education, but files that are related to the building of the Egyptian character in general. Now, when the year 2019 was declared the year of education and the building of the Egyptian character, there were areas where officials said there will be a focus on education, as you mentioned, Engineer Amany. Of course, health was one of them, Also, so let's talk about health. There was also cultural identity and sports. Let's take them one by one. But still with education, there are other efforts in education, right? The new universities and other, be it private universities or international universities hosted here by Egypt, or the expansion, I guess, also in governmental or in public universities?
Yes, education is divided into the basic education, where you have the kids, you make them, you have awareness to people, you make awareness to people to let the children go to school and be educated in the basic education. After that, they continue their education in schools, then to the universities. Having new cities, and all the new cities are having new universities, developing our already established universities is a big part of the development of education. Having digital education everywhere, especially in rural areas. Now the Haya Karima, our decent life, is having digital education being inducted in the rural areas and the villages, developing the education such that people are equal. We have equity in education, who use technology, internet, and all the resources for research.
Right. And I guess that to follow on that, on the field of education, there are efforts in scientific research. Perhaps there's a budget now for scientific research, and also the training programs and the development programs. Could you talk to us about that?
The training programs for professors, for teachers, is going on such that the education develops. You have to have vocational training for the people who educate or take care of education and of the kids and the youth in university. So of course the training is very important, the vocational training for teachers and professors.
Right, and that is part of building the Egyptian character. So for teachers and professors, the training exists, and also for the young graduates, for the laborers, and I guess students at any age could join training programs that could enhance their life. This is also part of the plan.
Yes, there are a lot of awareness programs for kids, awareness of culture, awareness of equity, and how to live together, how to have different people living together in a peaceful society, having talks together. Youth have a lot of awareness sessions that they get to know people from other cities, from other cultures, different religions. People are having talks freely, and this makes the social life in universities and in schools better.
Indeed, and I guess, Engineer Amany, if we're talking still about the file of education, then the curriculums themselves are an element of the process. So updating the curriculums, or getting more technology oriented curriculums, or reforming some discourse, all of this is again part of the scheme to build the Egyptian character.
This is through the curriculums to be developed, having new techniques like storytelling, engaging the students such that it's not only a push education, you push and pull, you take from the children, you have discussions. This is very important, that you allow the children to have discussions, and in a scientific way, such that they search. They go and search for information. They have their digital sources and resources, the internet, and all the books and everything in the schools and universities, that they can research and discuss and have new ways of education.
Right. So the goal here again, or at least this method, is related to creativity and innovation, right? It helps creativity and innovation, and this in turn develops further the Egyptian character.
Yes, this is very important in developing the youth and the students in school to have the ability to search and research and have discussions and have goals that they set with their professors to have results at the end of the sessions.
Right. What about scientific research, so as to move on to another file related to the building of the Egyptian character? So that's the last thing we're going to talk about related to education before we move to health. What about scientific research and its role in
Egypt, we have a lot of institutes that have researchers and scientists in all the areas. We have universities that are having researchers, and a lot of researchers that are new and can make a lot of impact in our country and in other countries too. So we see every now and then research that is taking care of and being processed to the society.
Indeed. The health file is education and health education are always the key, the drivers, the engine. What about the efforts that have been exerted in Egypt over the last 10 plus years in the file of health to help best build and rebuild the Egyptian character?
Health too is a very important file. So we're having a lot of initiatives in health. Maybe we can say about 100 million health. It's a health initiative that takes care of early detection of diseases, of
tumors.
Yes, tumors for women, kids, for elderly people. 100 million health is a very well developed initiative that it is taken to countries. It's a very successful one.
Indeed, and I get the effort that successfully eradicated virus C from Egypt was a milestone.
Yes, virus C is eradicated in Egypt, and also Egypt is taking care about this file in Africa and the virus and vaccinating people. So it's a very important file that when it's successful, we can help other countries to go through it and eradicate the virus. So it's now eradicated in Egypt.
Indeed, thank God, and Egypt, as you mentioned, is successfully exporting its success story in this file. Whenever we talk about areas that achieve sustainable development goals, HANA comes in again, the presidential initiative Decent Life. It also had a print, a big print on the health file.
The presidential initiative Haya Karima is in English, as you said, Decent Life. So it targets that all people have a decent life. through developing, through having better life. So the health and the hospitals, developing the hospitals, having people vaccinated, having early detection of diseases. This is a part. Another part is having people living in better houses, having water. Water is hygiene, and it has to be in every house. So Haya Karima is, or Decent Life, the presidential initiative, is helping in having water connections in houses. Having water is having a better health. So now we're having cities that were having a lack of water connections, like New Sohag, like Sohag. It's now 99% having water connections. So we're having very wide steps towards having better living for people, so having better health.
What about also the clinics that have been built in rural villages, the poorest, the neediest? Some of them have grown to become small hospitals. Talk to us about also that.
The presidential initiative is working in the rural areas, the very far villages that were having lack of health care. So having health care units and developing the healthcare units to be little hospitals at the beginning, then after that they can grow into bigger hospitals, having doctors being going to have to
serve there,
to serve,
yeah.
yes, in the rural areas. So people are having their right in having good health and having health units in their villages without without traveling to big cities to having their checkups. And of course, if we leave them to travel for far distances, they wouldn't do it every now and then. So having the healthcare units in their villages is a very good initiative that gives people their rights.
Indeed, and I guess and everybody knows about Egypt's leading role, even globally, in the file of green economy and you know, combating climate change and global warming. So I guess that all of these efforts and Egypt's strong belief in green is another help, is a tool that gives Egyptians better health and thus again helps the building, the strengthening of the character.
This is true. We're having new cities that are of the fourth generation, having a lot of green areas, having sources of energy, of renewable energy that is not emitting carbon dioxide in the air, because it's enough polluting our Mother Earth. All of us are working with a fuel that that emits carbon dioxide in the air. So now we're having a lot of initiatives taking us to green economy, green sources of energy, solar energy, wind energy. We're having a lot of work and development in this area. We're having atomic energy as well. So Egypt is going in wide steps towards the green economy.
Indeed, the solar energy as well, and the wind energy, all of this again means better health and means stronger characters. The cultural identity was part or was declared as part of the building of strengthening the cultural identity. Tell us about that file, because it's a very important file, a sensitive file as well, with all it, you know, the related dimensions.
Well, our culture takes care of everyone as in equal chances, equal opportunities, especially the women. Our culture, long ago you saw in our culture, the pharaonic culture, the Egyptian queens. So we're having Egyptian women equal to men since long ago. So now the Egyptian woman is taking a lot of care from the government and the governmental initiative, the presidential initiative, the women, the equity, her education, her health, early detection of diseases. The women in Egypt have a great potential because they are helped to be having jobs, job opportunities, equal salaries, having loans that help them to have their own business as entrepreneurs. All the new cities and the new society is built on having entrepreneurs, and a lot of them are women.
Right. The sports file. There have been a lot of investments in you know, building sports infrastructure, the youth centers everywhere, to make, you know, sports a way of life, not just you know, sports for competition or for medals or for money, but sports, for health, for a healthy lifestyle. What can you tell us about these
This is
efforts?
one of the main initiative of the presidential initiative, and the Ministry of Youth is making a great effort in building youth centers where youth and kids have areas to play sport and have their hobbies. They can play the sport that they like, and maybe a lot of them will be athletes, and maybe we'll have Mohammed Salah again because of a big number of people playing sports. You always find people who are talented. So you can find someone talented in soccer, in football, in martial arts. We're doing a great deal in martial arts, taekwondo,
karate.
Yeah, karate,
Yeah.
and
Of course, squash and handball,
yes,
are big success stories. But Engineer Amany, the effort is designed to make sports a way of life, for a healthy lifestyle to be practiced by all of us, even the elderly, even those who cannot play sports for competition, right?
This is true. There are a lot of youth centers to play sports, and a lot of awareness at school and at youth society, that they have to, the youth has to play sport. Elderly too, because of health, having better health. People now are able to play sport, even walking and running, jogging.
True.
Simple sport.
Yes. Can you tell us how housing projects, and there have been many housing projects in Egypt over the past few years, and the eradication of slums, can you tell us how is this helping in building a stronger character?
Housing and better distribution of people in our country. We have a very big country that we used to live on the Nile, near the Nile. Now having new cities and very attractive cities for people to go live in makes the distribution of citizens all over Egypt. And this is a very well studied step for sustainable development and of health, education, economics, having better life for people, having the everyone living in a bigger space than he used to live in on the near the Nile and near the seashore as we used to do. So there were 48 cities built in the last years. And they are some of them are of the fourth generation, having green areas, having better specifications for living, and of course this makes health better.
Women empowerment and the political will of empowering women in Egypt is certainly another file that's building a stronger Egyptian character, isn't it? What can you tell us about it?
Our country consists of half its number women and half men, 50% of each gender. So having 50% of the society, giving them the education, helping them have better health, this makes the society stronger, especially that the Egyptian women are very keen to be successful, and we have a lot of success stories in people having jobs, making success in their jobs, and entrepreneurs having a very successful business that they help the economics of the country, and they help their kids, they educate their kids better, they have better awareness how to raise up kids and being a working mother or a working woman.
Indeed, Engineer Amany. What about the general, again, also policy of supporting the youth and encouraging young entrepreneurs and encouraging small and medium enterprises and encouraging innovative and creative ideas by the youth? This certainly helps, again, the character.
Youth always have their way of thinking. They think differently, and when you give them the chance to make their own business, or to have loans that they can start a business depending on their creativity and their ideas, they always make successful projects, especially when you give them the vocational education. They need the vocational training that we were talking about.
Yeah.
You give them the tool to be successful, because if they only have the ideas and they didn't take the vocational training and how to assess their projects, how to make market studies before they start, what to produce and not to produce, in order to save them from failures, they have to be put on a scientific ground, and have the tools to assess their projects and to study before they start. So we have a lot of very successful projects, especially that we're having awareness about local industry and how to make it stronger. You see a lot of people who say, I want to dress local, I want to dress from local brands.
Right.
And this is happening now. A lot of youth are having their own projects, and they are very successful.
Certainly, building or rebuilding the Egyptian character that is fit for today's challenges is a collaborative effort between the government, the NGOs, and society at large. Talk to us about that cooperation.
NGOs as part of the community, it consists of people who always feel their responsibility towards their community, who see how they can help and go for that in studied plans. And of course, the NGOs are working hand to hand with the presidential initiative Decent Life, because the areas of focus of everyone is to how to develop the country, how to have water connections, how to have better health, how to have people who need the operations, heart operations. Little kids are operated when they need, instead of being on waiting lists, so lives are saved. How you can help in as an NGO in the awareness for little children to be happy going to school. If you help them have a nice bag, uniform to be wearing together, school tools, little things that help little children and make them happy going to school. Of course, in addition to the governmental efforts in making the curriculum better, making students engaged, having discussions in their school, saying their thoughts and being heard, all this hand in hand, people join hand together, and the government, the NGOs, everyone to make development in education.
Indeed, we always go back to education and health. And Egypt is a youthful country. It's a country where most of its population are youth.
Yes.
So finally, how do you see this process moving forward, the process of building the Egyptian character that is able and capable of facing the challenges, today's challenges, and there are many. I mean, today's challenges are huge. I mean, regionally, globally, at home, challenges are big.
Having a youthful country is having potential for the future. So the youth who are well educated, having good health, aware of their country, its needs, aware of our national
interests.
Yes, national interests and of our culture. All this comes with awareness and of course of all the efforts of the government and NGOs, of the parents at home. When the parents are...
Family has a big role.
Yes. When the parents are well educated, and we have a good percentage of educated people, when the parents are having awareness how to help their kids, their youth to find their interest, because it's all about when you have your job. Having your job is your passion. It's not about having the job that your parents want you to have. Some people long ago used to say, I want my kid to be a doctor. Maybe he doesn't like to be a doctor and he'll be a creative entrepreneur. So people are having awareness towards talking with their kids, getting to know what they want, what is their desires. And the community, to the schools, discovering the talents in little kids who is good for what. So if you know how to guide the youth to go to their path, the path that they choose by themselves. That they will
freely choose. Yeah.
Yes, they will be successful.
And they will have strong characters.
Yes.
And then society at large would be a strong society. Engineer Amany Shennawy, chemical engineer and member of civil society and international service organization. Always a great pleasure to have you with us. Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you, dear viewers, for watching Windows. Goodbye.